always done your own drawing? Do you draw?
Yes, I've always done my own.
I'm going to think it's maybe by hand or computer.
Yeah,
or...
when the computerized drafting programs came in, I was already old enough that I decided, no, I'm not going to get involved in
Me too, by the way.
Right.
How old are you?
95.
But that's incredible. I want to be here when I'm... Here I was thinking I'm old. Well, let's get started. Welcome, everybody. I'm John Storyk. This is PK Pandey from REDI Acoustics, and I don't think we have to introduce the other gentleman with us. So, quite the legend, George Augspurger. What an honor. Thank you for being here. So, a continuation of our booth talk program, which we started last year. PK, I'm going to let you ask George the first question. Thanks for coming, by the way.
Right.
Thank you. And
George, what inspired you to start designing recording studios at the beginning of your career?
I'd
start
been-
out with the top question.
Right. No, I had been working at JBL in setting up the professional products division. And during that period, we had a lot of interaction with some of the record labels, mainly Capitol. So when the company was sold, it seemed to me to be a good opportunity to set up my own consulting organization, because I already had contacts with a number of the record labels and engineers that were doing that kind of thing.
When was that, approximately?
1970, 70, early 70s.
So that's right around the time that you started. So that's serendipitous right there.
We seem to have started at the same time. I started in '68, Jimi Hendrix, but it took a number of years to meet. The first time we've actually officially crossed paths was on Alaire, which I think we have a picture of, which is right there.
Right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the first time, was quite a thrill. We designed the room, but we sort of designed the room together. Still there,
Right.
going through some changes.
Right.
That was very exciting.
Yeah, I had seen some of John's earlier work, obviously, but that's the first time that we actually collaborated on a project.
Oh, that's
I
fantastic.
think one of the great studios.
And I did a session there for an artist, and it's just a very fun place. And Randall, the owner, is a little, very interesting person.
Let's talk about the horn, because when people think of the Augspurger monitor or the Augspurger style monitor, and we are not going to go into names and speaker, okay, but let's talk about the horn, because for me, that's the characteristic that has always impressed me. Where did that idea come from? Is it your idea, or?
Yes, it was somewhere in the probably late 80s or so. I'd already done a number of studios and a number of custom designs. The earlier ones were done with all JBL products,
Obviously.
using the big horn and lens. Then later, and along with some of the other designers, we used the Northwest horn, which was a radial horn.
This is not your horn. This is another.
I've got bi-radial horn.
But at that time, because it did have a couple identifiable problems, I decided that I would try to come up with a horn design of my own that would be distinctive. And I had some initial goals which were later modified to some degree, but the original design was almost identical to the horns that you see now. It was made by a local cabinet maker that had been building the cabinets for my speakers. And the original one was not glued together so that we could make changes in it. But once I'd had a chance to actually make some measurements and listen to it, it simply stayed the way it was.
It hasn't changed.
There was no attempt to make a horn that had a defined coverage pattern or that measured absolutely flat on axis. The whole idea was something that you could use in a control room that would sound good over a reasonable listening area. And it turned out that my judgment of the horn was corresponded to that with a number of the leading professional mixing engineers, and I've never had occasion to change it or to want to change it.
So it hasn't changed that much.
No.
No, that's called the RV1 horn.
RV1, yeah.
RV1.
And that's it?
That's in the speakers at the Alaire.
That's some-
Correct.
And there's some other projects that are all George's horn.
Yeah.
And these were made by Larry Jackson, if I remember correctly.
Correctly. Larry Jackson was the original manufacturer of both the cabinets and the horn.
Yes. And George had a system where you would purchase the horns from Larry Jackson and the cabinets and have the speakers. And George, you're still involved in tuning the systems.
Occasionally, yes. I have a couple of clients here in Los Angeles that still have installations with large main monitors that I do the equalization for, right.
And,
Let's just talk about that for a minute. The first time I ever watched you do that was at Alaire, using, I think, remember slides, white, I think they were, white equalizers.
Yeah.
What are you using now?
The clients that I have are either using older white equalizers. White went out of business a number of years ago.
These are one-third
There's
octave.
still a lot of the EQs on the market that can be refurbished, and they're still fine. Most of my clients want an all analog chain, and there is still one analog equalizer still being made,
Which is?
Clark Technic.
One-third,
Yeah,
one-sixth,
the other studios, the newer studios that are doing production work and one thing or another, once we get into the digital world,
Yeah.
then there are any number of very good products.
Are you
know.
using them? Are you familiar with them?
Yes, if it's a well-known product
Yeah.
that sounds good, yes. Using the parametrics.
Parametric, yeah.
In some ways is actually a little easier because you are not goaded into making micro adjustments.
What are you using for your measuring?
For the what?
What are you measuring with?
I'm
your preferred
using,
measuring
yeah,
tool?
I'm still using one of the older systems that is available with computerized version, but I'm still using basic 1/3 octave, although I will go down to 1/12 octave to nail down individual frequencies. There are half a dozen very good of the newer units available, but if mine is out of business or if the client has something else, I'm willing to use it. Yeah.
BK, can you talk a little bit about George and his relationship to symphonic, if you would, which is actually a good example. Maybe for me, one of the most interesting examples is Rue Boyer in Paris.
well, I can start at the beginning, where you, John Storyk, and Ann Mincielli asked me to build speakers for Jungle City Studios. And that was the inception. And after that, I started communicating with George and developing a system and following his pattern. So we had some great success there doing that, and subsequently many other studios with George's speakers. And I think you and George collaborated on that, and this speaker that you see is your collaborative design.
Yeah. Even the cabinet it's got a little
Yes.
nick. I remember.
You can see it better maybe in this one
Yeah.
or this one. But that Diapolito array of speakers is your guys' design. You own that design,
We own,
basically.
yeah. And we've used it about a half a dozen times.
Right.
Yeah.
Pretty successfully.
Very popular. Even though we have the reflective shelf of the RV1 horn, which we are changing. There's a new horn coming out called the RV2. So there's a little bit of
Let's talk about that.
The RV2 is going to have a little bit of curve on the top of the reflective shelf, so the diffraction is better, the performance is better. And there's also something else we'll show a little later that's being developed, that George in 2022 designed a new horn called the transconic horn, which is applicable for Atmos. So you don't have that fixed directionality from the existing horn, you can have an Atmos horn.
So
And
George, are the horns still made by the same people all these years?
There's always been a restricted number of people that are authorized to build the horn. Larry Jackson originally, there was one other cabinet shop in New York City. PK was authorized to build the horns, and there was one other source available, and that's it.
Yes, because it's trusted sourcing. So you know the sourcing of everything.
And you have to approve them. You
Yeah.
do approve them.
Yep.
And are they always out of wood?
Are they all what?
Are they always out of wood? Have you thought about other materials? Ever?
Occasionally, yes. Well, let's put it this way. To the best of my knowledge, all of the existing horns have been made out of wood. Yes, carved. I have no objection to going to one of the more advanced technologies using, a printed layer technique or something, but I don't think any of them have actually been built.
Yeah, or injection molding possibly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Sunset Sound, you're still involved with Paul at Sunset Sound, and I see you're still tuning systems over there.
The systems at Sunset Sound go back to the very earliest installations that still use all JBL,
Really?
including the high frequency horn and driver.
That's fantastic.
Incredible.
And you're still working on projects.
Yes,
So what
I'm semi-retired, but I'm still doing occasional projects, mostly, obviously, residential studios for film composers and musicians.
Yes. I heard that you were working on a project in Peru.
I
That's
have
coming
one
to-
project going in Peru that is a large studio complex where the upper 3 stories are the artists' living quarters,
Yep.
and the studios are in the lower 2. That's still under construction. It should be finished within the next 6 months.
Great.
And you live in Los Angeles? You've never not lived in Los Angeles?
I've lived in Los Angeles since 1960. As I say, I've recently semi-retired, moved into a much smaller house in Glendale, but still spending some time doing consulting and
Do
design.
you, this is a very specific question. Our careers have sort of started at the same time, and I guess they're sort of, well, we'll see if they end at the same time. We're both old, right? You're
Well, Leo Beranek worked until he was how old?
101?
I'm sorry?
Leo Beranek worked until he was how old?
Leo Beranek was still going to the office when he was 100.
100, yeah. I met him, I saw him when he was 98 in Boston.
Yeah. I mean,
Talk
This
about-
is a
can
new-
Can we talk about this?
yes, this
Okay.
is a This is the horn called the transconic horn that George designed at the end of 2022 because I had requested a speaker to be used for Atmos and immersive audio.
Okay.
So it's a 90 by 90 horn, and the directionality builds up, the energy builds up and then disperses. And we've built prototypes, and they are very, very good.
Be a ceiling speaker. This would be an immersive speaker.
It could
not
be
the
used
front.
in any position.
Really?
And people are now requesting this speaker in just a stereo system with subwoofers.
Yeah.
Really?
Some of my very trusted engineers are very, very happy about this speaker because it seems to bring more lift. You get to hear more of what the compression driver
This
is giving you.
This is a departure from your horn thinking.
Yeah, it's you can't tell from the illustration, but an effort to develop a true spherical wavefront, which we wanted for especially the ceiling speakers.
Ceiling ones.
Right. It turns out you have to start out, the only easy way to do it, you start out with a conical, circular, conical horn. And this is developed from that in a way that
So it's a conical horn.
it's a
Conical
Kind of
horn.
an oxymoron.
slightly
Yeah, and then it has
expanded wavefront to fit a square opening.
It's a two-way, right?
You know,
it's a two-way.
Two-way, yeah.
So a lot of
And you're telling me people are actually thinking about this in just a stereo?
it gives them the same sound that they expect from the RV1 horn because of the components and the trap cabinet design.
Not
And-
very big. It's not very big.
No, it's not very. Yeah, so this will go into production. This is
That was
a
my next
production
question. Is it available?
It's available now for order, and it's very affordable. So we are doing more tests with the 3D printing, but we're going to go into injection molding.
What's that horn made out of? That's not wood.
It's made out of ABS plastic.
yeah, this would be easy to cast. It
Easy to
could be a
cast, right.
Very
cast
easy.
aluminum horn.
This
Yeah.
is incredible, George. You're
Still,
I'm impressed. I don't get easily impressed, as some of my friends know. So, how old are you?
95.
Well, I'm 79. I want to be here when I'm. And here I was thinking I'm old. I don't have the right to say that. When you leave, I'm going to go back to saying I'm old, but that's incredible. And you're in good health? Except for the distance from the parking lot to here, right?
Yeah, no, I've got problems with vision
Yeah.
these days, and the usual fall off in hearing at advanced stage. Otherwise, I'm fine.
Have you always done your own drawing? Do you draw?
Yes, I've always done my own.
You still draw?
I still do, yeah.
I assume I'm going to think it's maybe by hand or computer
Yeah,
or
no, when the computerized drafting programs came in, I was already old enough that I decided, no, I'm not going to get involved in
me too,
this.
by the way.
Right.
So you still draw?
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Final words?
George, thank you for coming down and having
it's
this.
very,
I think it's really important for you to come down and people can understand your career and your accomplishments and the fact that you're still working and doing this because you love it and are interested in it. And
Here I was thinking of stopping. I guess that's just not good.
Yeah, you.
Oh, why? Thank you very much.
Thank
An
you
honor.
very much, George.
Thanks a lot, George.
Thank you.